Hi, welcome to Amazing World of Podcasts. So let's get started. Well, this podcast was loaded, which is funny because one of the means of loaded is to get really drunk. Got it here. I'll go out and get loaded. Anyway, loaded is also like cargado. Okay, like cargar, but it's funny. Anyway, so as usual, do the exercise, and I'm going to show the answers in 3, 2, 1. But nowadays, whether you should use for essays, okay, nowadays or these days, there's been an increasing okay, the number of people eating prepared food is increasing, whatever. Okay, actually, it's a false friend. Actually, is to tell you the truth. In reality, these are at present, and yesterday is yesterday. So an adverb modifying the verb, and unacceptable, you have the prefix negative, and then able, it can be done. So acceptable, you can accept it. Okay. Threaten, we've seen threaten is species very often. From threat, threaten is the verb like strengthen, lengthen, widen. Okay. This ending is usually difficult for students to remember. This typical as usual, and then you have useful as an adjective. This is one we've included before, but now heads. Whose for possession, this is a difficult one to remember because we don't really use cuyo in Spanish. So since, especially before you get to the highest level, it happens very often that you translate from Spanish into English. So in the same way that we don't use the passive in Spanish, so if you translate, you will never use the passive in English. The same thing happens with cuyo, which we don't use. Okay. So match something or someone with next round. Get started. These two are difficult. These are part 4 exercises. It depends on whether you've predicted the sentences or not. If you have, then it's not so difficult. Okay. So ready? I'm going to show you answers in 3, 2, 1. Different response, the spelling responsible, typical mistake, make sure you correct it. Sustainable, it can be sustained, the same as before, something can be done. And then the contrast. So this is the theory, but then there's, should be, there are a lot of animal activities, but this is used all the time. So then you need the negative, like irregular verbs, irresponsible and unsustainable, the same as before, unacceptable. So it's true that if you don't really know the negative form, and maybe the most common, not most of the times, but more than others. Okay, to qualify as, okay, they are considered, someone is considered clever or regarded as clever. So consider doesn't take as other verbs like known as, qualify as, seen as, regarded as, to take as. Okay. So, and then notice meet requirements, like, okay, like live up, meet your expectations can be used. I'm going to live up to expectations. So meet these requirements. You need to be a graduate, so you are a graduate, so you meet that requirement. Okay, requisito. So this is the structure where you have something done. I need to have my hair cut. I need to have the walls painted. Okay, so have plus whatever receives the action plus done. Okay, so the picture is taken. Okay, next round. You can't see this one, but anyway, you can do it now. We'll see it later. Get it done. I'm going to show the answers in 3, 2, 1. So this one was difficult. Behave. So you have 2 adverbs modifying behave. You could say behave irresponsibly. So this adverb modifies behave. And then so intensifies the other adverb. Okay, adverbs can modify adjectives. No, very clever. That verb is modifying the adjective. Can modify a verb, runs quickly. That quickly modifies the verb, like this one. And then they can modify another adverb. He runs quickly. He runs very quickly. Very is modifying quickly, intensifying it. Okay, so behave so irresponsibly. You have the negative, and then remember when you have an adjective ending in le, like incredible, possible, feasible. Then the adverb, you don't really add ly, you just, okay, from the e, okay, you change it for a y. The place where something happens, the preposition, no, impact on, effect on, essential, I include this very often. Okay, you have the C, which becomes a T. You have the passive, okay, quite common in English. So no one is affected, so the behavior is not being affected. You see, it is present continuous, so the correct form of verb to be present continuous. Okay, it's been affected. And you achieve aims. Okay, this is from unit 9. You have something about achieve, aims, objectives, targets, ambitions. So you achieve aims. Okay, this round. So get it done. And when you're ready, continue the video. I'm going to show the answers in 3, 2, 1. One day I'm going to get confused with the accounting. Okay, rather than, very typical. Instead of rather than, despite ing. This ing, remember, counts as a noun. So swimming is good. That swimming is like a noun. So after despite, you need a noun structure or ing. Despite the rain, we celebrated more than Christians. Okay. So despite getting very few, the money. Okay. Although and though are the same, in spite. Okay. In spite of, that would be correct. My nephew had this in an exam recently. He knew despite, he didn't know in spite. Okay, but it is the same meaning. Despite is much more common than in spite of, because it's shorter. Okay. In other words, I've put this one before, it's in a C1 test, so whenever I say it, at least two, at least appears. Beauty. Okay, Mandalay was a place of beauty. No, Rebecca had made Mandalay the place of beauty it was. So beauty. Someone pointed out there were 3 vowels. I think it's because beau, this is from French, I think. Beau. And nothing. So as not to, this is the same as in order not to. You can say I come here to learn, I come here in order to learn, I come here so as to learn. Okay? And that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.